worried that I don't have enough battery.
Can I help you out
If
here?
you can't hear in the back or in the front, yell so I'll know. I'm Steve Aronson. I'm the president of the Federation, Jewish Federation of Greater Ann Arbor. I'm delighted to welcome everyone to celebrate Israel, the continuation of our community's ongoing year-long celebration of Israel's 70th year as an independent democratic state. We're so delighted to see so many of our community members from all across our Jewish community. Over 15 local organizations, congregations have partnered with us to make this an important milestone event for our community. Especially grateful for the significant involvement of staff and volunteers of the Ann Arbor Jewish Community Center, without whom this event would not be possible. In addition to our special guest, who will be introduced shortly, I'm proud to welcome national, state, and local dignitaries who have joined us this afternoon. Please join me in welcoming Ann Arbor City Council member Jack Eaton, Ann Arbor Mayor Chris Taylor, Washtenaw County Commissioner Jason Morgan. Did we arrive? Not here. Sends his regrets. Michigan State Representative Ronnie Peterson, who you know well. And thank you again, as always, Debbie, our representative in Washington, Congresswoman Debbie Dingell. One other personal note, but because Eileen always says, don't stray from your script, but Hamevin Yavin, and I'll be saving everyone 50 questions later on. My other name is Balasha Lavana. She's coming back on Tuesday, so now you don't have to ask me where she is. Okay, thank you. We appreciate everyone taking time out from your busy schedules to participate in our festivities. I invite Kevin Lieberman to lead us in singing the national anthems of the United States and Israel.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Kol balevav penima nefesh Yehudi homiya ufatei mizrach kadima ayin letzion tzofia od lo avda tikvatenu התקווה בת שנות 2000 להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון וירושלים, להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון וירושלים.
Thank you, Kevin. I'm delighted to introduce Prue Rosenthal, President of the Jewish Community Center, who will introduce our special guest.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm actually the chair of the board of the JCC, which is new in our bylaws, and we need to remember that. Sorry, Steve. My name is Prue Rosenthal. I am, for 18 more days, I am the chair of the JCC board, and I'm very happy to welcome you here as partners. So I will only be the chair of the board of the JCC for 18 more days, or 14 more days, but I am Ronnie Dermer's aunt forever. Ron Dermer was born and raised in Miami Beach, Florida. He earned a degree in finance and management from the Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania, and a degree in philosophy, politics, and economics from Oxford University. For 3 years, he was a columnist for the Jerusalem Post. In 2004, Ron co-authored with Natan Sharansky the best-selling book, The Case for Democracy, The Power of Freedom to Overcome Tyranny and Terror, which has been translated into many languages. Many of you were here in 2004 when Ron came with Mr. Sharansky to speak about their book. From 2005-2008, Ron served as Israel's Minister of Economic Affairs in the United States. From 2009 to 2013, he served as Senior Advisor to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He has been Israel's ambassador to the U.S. since 2013. He is married to Rhoda, and unfortunately she's not here. She's often his better half, and has 5 children. Always his better half. And he has 5 wonderful children. So please welcome Ron Dermer, the ambassador.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be back in Ann Arbor. First, I want to recognize the dignitaries who are here, the mayor, state representative, congresswoman, councilman. We're all public servants, and it's nice of you to take time out on a Sunday to come out here and to show your support for the community. It's a pleasure to be here, not only because I get to see my aunt and uncle, because I know how strong the sentiment towards Israel is in this community, and how proud the Jewish identity is in this community. And I know it because I've been here many times. You mentioned me being here in 2004, but I was here for all my cousins' bar mitzvahs, 3 boys, a long time ago. I was here for my aunt's bat mitzvah, which was, I think, 1993. And not only that, I owe a debt of gratitude to this community. Because Jewish identity is so strong here, because your connection to Israel is so strong here, that's how I ended up meeting my wife, and that's why I have those 5 lovely children. So let me explain that. My aunt, as you know, is a very strong supporter of Israel and is deeply involved in this community. Well, you used to have I don't know if you still have the program, it was then called Partnership 2000, which had a sister city in Israel, in the Galil, and my aunt would come to Israel 2 or 3 times a year. And she would always stay with me in Jerusalem when she would come. And when she was in Israel, she used to always go visit then Israel's Chief Justice of our Supreme Court, Aaron Barak, who taught at the University of Michigan. Some of you may remember him being here. Well, one day, my aunt made the mistake of bringing me along. And of course, I was my usual charming self, right? And he told my aunt, next time when you come here, why don't you bring him over for dinner? And the next time she came, she brought me over for dinner, and sitting at his table was my future wife, who was clerking for him at the Supreme Court. So without your commitment to the state of Israel, I would have never met her and never had those 5 wonderful children. And the commitment of this community to Israel is of a piece with the commitment of so many communities around this country for Israel. I know that this is a special place in Ann Arbor, but I've run into quite a few in my time as ambassador, people who really are concerned and committed to Israel. And this year, Israel's celebrating its 70th anniversary. And sometimes we get so caught up in the sound and fury of daily life. Sometimes we get so caught up in all the issues and controversies that take place week after week, that we don't sort of take a step back and actually marvel at the state of Israel, that is now 70 years old or 70 years young, and to think about the transformation that has occurred in the life of the Jewish people with the birth of the one and only Jewish state in just a short 70 years. 70 years ago, we had a military that could barely defend itself. Now we have the strongest military in the Middle East and one of the best intelligence services, for those of you who've been paying attention, in the world. And it keeps us safe, but it also keeps many other countries around the world safe. And Israel's intelligence services have foiled about 24 major terrorist attacks in the last few years. We see also the change in Israel's economy. We once had the same GDP per capita as Egypt and Jordan. Today, Israel has a higher GDP per capita than Japan, than the average European country. And we're also a global technological power in cyber, in water, in agriculture, in so many other fields. And today we have our diplomacy is flourishing as never before. And think about where Israel was 70 years ago, where we faced boycotts around the world, where we faced the Soviet Union that was doing everything they could to sort of push us back and to constrict us. Today, Israel has relations with 160 countries around the world, flourishing relations with India, with China, with Japan, with Africa, with Latin America, because all of these countries want to partner with Israel because of the innovation and technology we have, and because we're a country that's very good in security. And also, Israel's a country that's 70 years young or old. We should celebrate its democracy. You know, democracies, as you may have learned in recent years, democracies are tested under fire. That's when it counts. I remember in this country, after 9/11, on September 12th, there was a feeling that another attack might be imminent. And you know how people were willing in that very difficult time to sometimes make trades of security and civil liberties. And then as that sense of danger recedes, you want to make sure that you're holding on to those civil liberties. It's a natural process that goes on in the life of democracies. But understand this, Israel's been in September 12th for 70 years. We have not known a single day of peace in 70 years. We're lucky to have peace agreements with 2 of our Arab neighbors, and we hope we'll have peace agreements with all of our neighbors. But we have had to keep our democratic values under the most extreme conditions. So I, as Israel's ambassador, don't apologize for Israel's democracy. We're not a perfect country. That's true of every country. But I marvel at Israel's democracy, that we've been able to uphold those values under the most extreme conditions. So if you think about Israel celebrating its 70th anniversary, I hope you will take a minute to appreciate how fortunate we all are. And I see here literally 3 generations of Jews. 100 generations of Jews dreamed of having the privilege to live at a time when there would be a sovereign Jewish state. 100 generations. 3 generations have had that privilege. That's all of us here. And with that privilege comes a great responsibility, which is to secure that dream for the future. And that's a responsibility that I believe doesn't fall on the shoulders of prime ministers or ambassadors alone. It falls on the shoulders of each and every one of you. And by you coming here, by you strengthening Jewish identity in this community, you are actually partners in securing the future. So I thank you for everything that you have done and for everything I know you will continue to do to strengthen the Jewish community right here in Ann Arbor, and in doing so, strengthen your ties, and our common ties together between Michigan and between America and the one and only Jewish state. Thank you, and Yom Ha'atzmaut Sameach.
Ambassador, we're so honored and grateful. Really an honor. We've been trying to get you here for a while, and not just through Ami and Prue. So, as a little token, understand you threw out a first pitch at the Washington Nationals. That's somewhere around the Wharton reference, I think, on the webpage, right, Prue? So there might be some sports affinity, or maybe just fashion sense. So thank you.
I want to tell a very quick story. I think this is my aunt's and uncle's payback for many years ago. One time I was here, you may remember it, not for a bar mitzvah or a bat mitzvah, but I came in 1984. I was 13 years old. And the University of Miami had just won the college football championship, the first college football championship. And they came to play in Ann Arbor as the #1 team in the country in 1984. I painted my face half orange and half green. And I walked to the stadium with my aunt and uncle. It was on Shabbat, so I walked there with them. And at first, when I was on the outside, I'm like, wait, this is not such a big stadium. It's like a high school stadium. Look, it's only like a story and a half. And so I go in, and then I realize there's 100,000 people in blue and maize. Did I get the colors right? Maize and blue. Okay, I'm sorry. Maize and blue. Maize and blue. And I went there with my painted face, green and orange, and the University of Miami got pummeled. And I had that long walk of shame. There was 104,999 fans of Michigan and one child, 13 years old. And I think that's what actually taught me how to stand against the current, I think. But now I know that if you're going to come to Ann Arbor, wear the maize and blue. So thank you very much.
Thank you. In just a few minutes, Ambassador Dermer will meet with teams of the Ann Arbor Jewish community in the Hebrew Day School 5th grade classroom. What a great opportunity for them to meet with them and interact personally. We invite everyone else to continue this wonderful festival. There's something for everyone. Petting zoo, pita making. 3 food trucks, plenty of Israel-related activities. The Israel-themed magic show will be back here at 5 o'clock. Want to remind people we continue our celebration of Israel's 70th with the Detroit community's Israel at 70 at GM River Days, Wednesday, June 20th, 4 to 10 p.m. There's information about this event on flyers on the registration table. Thank you again, everyone, and enjoy the day. Thank you.
I don't know.